What if the reason your relationship failed was not because you chose the wrong person, but because you loved differently? Not more, not less, differently. And if that sounds simple, it's not, because this one difference silently destroys thousands of good relationships every single day, and most people never even see it happening. So stay with me, because once you understand this, you won't see your past or your current relationship the same way again. You meet someone, it feels easy, you laugh more, you talk more, you feel seen. There's chemistry, connection, and that rare feeling like this might actually work. Everything feels natural until it doesn't. At first, it's small. They take longer to reply. They seem a little distant. Something feels off. You tell yourself it's nothing, but your mind starts asking questions. Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? Why do I feel this shift? And here's where the story splits, because one of you starts moving closer and the other starts pulling away. This is where most relationships silently break, not with a big fight, not with betrayal, but with a pattern. A pattern between two people who are both trying to feel safe, but in completely opposite ways. Let's talk about the first person, the anxious one. This is the person who feels deeply, who notices every change in tone, every delay, every small difference. When they care, they really care. They want closeness. They want reassurance. They want to know that everything is okay, not because they are weak, but because connection matters to them. So when something feels off, they don't ignore it. They move closer. They text more. They ask more questions. They try to fix it, because in their mind, fixing the distance brings back the safety. But here's the problem. What feels like love to them feels like pressure to someone else. Because now we meet the second person, the avoidant one. This person also cares, but they experience closeness differently. When things get intense, when emotions rise, when expectations grow, they don't move closer. They pull back. Not because they don't care, but because they feel overwhelmed. They need space to feel in control again. They need distance to feel safe again. So when tension appears, they go quiet. They take longer to respond. They create space, because in their mind, space reduces pressure. And now, the cycle begins. The anxious person feels distance, so they move closer. The avoidant person feels pressure, so they pull away. The more one reaches, the more the other retreats. And the more the other retreats, the more the first one panics. And here's the painful part. Both people are trying to protect the relationship, but they are doing it in ways that hurt each other. Think about that. One person is saying, "Come closer so I can feel safe." The other is saying, "Give me space so I can feel safe." And neither one is wrong, but together, it creates a loop that feels impossible to escape. Now, here's the part most people never realize. This is not about love. Both people can love each other deeply. This is about emotional wiring, patterns, attachment. And once that pattern starts, it repeats again and again and again. So what does it look like in real life? You send a message, they don't reply for hours, your mind starts racing. You check your phone again and again. You start thinking of what could be wrong, so you send another message, maybe a little more emotional this time. Now they feel it, the pressure, the expectation, so they take even more space. And now you feel even worse, so you push harder. And just like that, a simple moment turns into emotional distance. But here's the twist. From the outside, it looks like one person cares more, but that's not true. They just express it differently. So now the big question, if this pattern feels automatic, how do you stop it? Because you can't fix what you don't understand. And once you understand this, everything changes. First, you need awareness. You need to ask yourself honestly, am I the one who chases or the one who withdraws? Because if you don't see your role in the pattern, you will keep repeating it with different people. Second, you need to change how you communicate. Not emotionally, clearly, instead of reacting, say what you feel. I feel disconnected when we don't talk. I need a little reassurance right now. I need some space, but I still care about you. Clarity removes confusion, and confusion is what feeds the cycle. Third, balance. This is where most people fail because they try to win. But relationships are not about winning, they are about understanding. The anxious person needs to learn to pause, to not react instantly to fear. The avoidant person needs to learn to stay, to not disappear when things feel intense. Both have to move, not just one. And finally, emotional control. Because your first reaction is not always your best reaction. That message you want to send out of fear, pause. That distance you want to create out of pressure, pause. Because in that pause, you break the pattern. And here is the truth most people ignore. You don't need a perfect relationship, you need a conscious one. Two people who understand each other enough to not turn small moments into permanent distance. Because the relationship is not broken, it is just two people trying to feel safe in different ways. So if you've ever felt like, why does this keep happening to me? Now you know, it's not just the person, it's the pattern. And the moment you understand the pattern is the moment you stop repeating it. So here's your challenge. The next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. The next time you feel the urge to pull away, pause. And choose differently. Because one different reaction can change everything. If this made you see your relationship differently, subscribe for more real relationship psychology. And share this with someone who needs to understand this, because sometimes the difference between losing someone and keeping them is not love, it's awareness.